Hello everybody, this is Monty with Flowers by the Bunch. Today I am going to make an arrangement for a birthday. This is going to be what we consider a large arrangement. I'm using a glass vase that's filled with fresh water, added a little bit of flower food to the vase. I'm going to start out adding a little bit of leather leaf to my container. So I'm going to take my floral knife. I had someone ask the other day about my floral knife and where I get them. I order them from Amazon, and it's just a folding paring knife or a folding floral knife. They come in bright colors, which I love because that means they don't easily get thrown in the trash because you can see them. So I am just taking that knife and I'm cutting my foliage at an angle and tucking it right into my vase. I like to use leather leaf foliage as my base foliage. It's not terribly expensive and it does the job. So that's always nice. Now some people don't like leather leaf and it's completely okay. Just choose a foliage of your choice. It doesn't really matter. I always like to not spend a whole ton of money on my base foliage and then add pretty foliage on top. Next, I'm going to come in with some Coculus foliage, which is just a large branch. I had someone ask if this was palm. It is not jade or palm, but it does kind of have those long elongated leaves, kind of like palm. I took and stripped off the bottom leaves from my foliage because I don't want the foliage to go into the water. Now look at how long this piece is. It's really long. So I'm going to take some snips and I'm going to cut it in half. Therefore, I am able to use it in two separate insertions. So I'm going to take and strip off those bottom leaves and tuck that right into my arrangement. And then take my second piece, strip off some bottom leaves, cut that stem, and tuck it in also. That way you get more for your money, right, when you can cut it in half. Next I'm going to come in with some lime flower. So the lime flower that we've chosen today are Bells of Ireland. Anytime you hear us talk about, there's lots of different types of flowers. There's lime flowers and mass flowers and filler flowers and focal flowers. When you say a line, it really is a line, so that's why it's called a line. This gives you the height in your arrangement. I'm taking and pinching out the tips of that bell, cutting that stem, and tucking him right in. Now I like to work with my tallest flower first, and then stair step down with my next stem or two. So I have my tallest kind of there in the center, and then I'm going to stair step down. Now I'm pinching the greenery out of the tip just because to me it looks better. If you like that greenery in that bell, leave it. It's not hurting the flower at all to leave it. All right, so there's our 3 Bells of Ireland. Next, we're going to come in with another lime flower, and that is this beautiful purple stalk. Now, stalk almost really, I call it a lime flower, but it's kind of chunky. It's a chunky lime flower, but it still gives you the look of a lime. So I am going to take my stalk. I'm going to leave one kind of tall, and I'm going to put it back here towards the back. Now I am working in odd numbers, and the reason is with a lime flower, if you work in 2 stems, I feel like it looks like a bug's antenna. So I like to at least use 3 stems. Next I'm going to take my next stem. All right. So there's our purple stalk. Next we're going to come in with some yellow solidago. I like to go ahead and add, this is a filler flower. I like to go ahead and add this solidago because it's going to help my other flowers to stand up. So I'm just going to take it and I am just going to tuck it here and there in this arrangement. with that solid deco. Okay, next I'm going to come in with, these would be more of a mass or a focal. They're just little round hydrangeas. So I'm going to take and I'm removing most of the foliage from that bloom. I am going to take a little bit of Quick Dip. Now Quick Dip is a hydrating solution. I'm going to cut that stem at an angle. I'm going to dip it in that hydrating solution. What that's going to do is just help keep that hydrangea happy and well hydrated. So I tucked that first bloom kind of low there. I'm going to tuck the second one kind of above it. I usually dip in this hydrating solution about 7 seconds or so. Okay, so there's our two pretty green hydrangeas. Next, I'm going to come in with some Orange Babe spray roses. Just happy little orange spray roses. I think orange gives such a pretty pop of color to any arrangement. So I'm just going to kind of tuck these orange spray roses all the way through. I'm removing any of the foliage that might fall below that water line. But I try to leave as much natural foliage on the spray roses as I can, just because it doesn't cost extra to have that little foliage tucked in there, right? Next, we're going to come in with a couple of pink mink protea. So these are so fun and so different. As they warm up, they will begin to open, but they're really a very interesting flower. They are a tropical flower, and just kind of fun and different. So I used my snips because they have a real woody stem, and that woody stem is hard to cut with a knife. So I'm just taking my snips and cutting that stem, and I am just tucking those kind of deep into that arrangement. Now the reason I'm going pretty deep into the arrangement is because they're heavy. Their heads are pretty heavy, so I kind of tucked them deep down into that arrangement. Next, I am going to come in with some really pretty yellow roses. So this has beautiful yellow roses. Now, Callie has already wired them for me. So to wire a rose, you're just going to take a piece of wire. I always like to cut our wire in half or even in thirds. I'm going to press that wire right into that calyx and go right around that stem with that wire. We like to wire our roses because it helps keep them, sometimes they don't stay hydrated enough, so their stems get a little limp and their heads get heavy. So I like to wire them to make sure that those heads are going to stand firm in that arrangement, stay standing. All right, so there's our pretty yellow roses tucked in. Next I have red hypericum berries. So hypericum berries come in lots of colors. They are also called coffee berries. This happens to be the red, but they come in maroon, and they come in a creamy color, a green, kind of a pinky peach color. Lots of pretty colors. I'm going to take that berry and I'm going to strip off that foliage, and I'm just going to toss that foliage. I'm going to use these like filler. I'm just going to kind of tuck them here and there just to add this pretty pop of red. Now, we can get hypericum berries year round, and so I really like to. Most people like them in the fall or in the winter, but I just like the texture. I think they are a fantastic texture, and I think they're perfect year round. They add a fun pop of color. They do also paint really well. So if you ever needed them a different color, like if you needed them to be maroon or to be, another color, you can absolutely paint them. And they hold paint really well, which I love that. I liked the opportunity to be able to make something work in an arrangement if I needed a certain color. All right, so there's our pretty hypericum berries. The next thing, I've got 2 more things we're going to add to this arrangement. The next thing, we'll add a little bit of pink wax flower. Now, wax flower, if you strip the foliage and you kind of crush it in your hands, it smells like soap. Which I think is really neat. It is a pretty little daisy-like flower. Now, the only thing about wax flower is it's not in season all year. You know, a lot of things we can get year-round, like roses and bells of Ireland and usually hypericum berries and lilies. We can get a lot of things year-round. Wax flower is not one of them. And so, it's when we can get it, it's wonderful. So I'm just going to take that wax and I'm going to break it into smaller pieces and work it kind of throughout this arrangement. Again, this is a filler flower. So it's just a little added texture to kind of fill in the space. So I'm just taking it and breaking that stem and kind of tucking it all the way through. Wax flower comes in a couple different colors, kind of this fuchsia color, a lighter shade of pink, a white. All right, and then to finish off our arrangement, I'm going to add a little gun-eye eucalyptus. Eucalyptus comes in several different varieties. It comes in a silver dollar, which kind of has little round leaves. It comes in a seeded, which kind of little pointy, roundish pointy leaves that has seeds. This is a gun-eye, which kind of a little oval leaf, a little more delicate and a little more movement with this gun-eye euc. It also comes in spiral. So there's lots of different varieties. Often they're all around the same color scheme, this kind of blue-gray. And it is the perfect little added touch to finish an arrangement. I love a pretty foliage at the end, just to finish it off. I like to kind of come around the edge of the vase, and you'll see how it kind of softens that edge. It's not like, honestly, flowers that are stuck in a vase and don't have a pretty foliage almost look like it's just an ice cream, a scoop of ice cream sitting on top of a vase. This softens that edge and helps to make it just, I don't know, it's just pretty. I just like it. I just think it's a wonderful finishing touch. All right. And there is our finished arrangement. So this is a showy birthday arrangement with lots of pretty bold colors. Guys, thank you so much for being here with me this afternoon. If you have any questions about how we do things here at Flowers by the Bunch, please ask. We're so happy to answer any questions you have. If you enjoyed this video, please give us a thumbs up. Be sure to hit that subscribe button down below so that you can follow us, and if you'll hit that little bell, you'll get notifications for when we have a new video up. Guys, have a wonderful day. We'll see you real soon. Thanks, guys.